Okay, let's talk about simple backup techniques when we're playing in a string band. Okay, let's see. So we're going to start out, I'll demonstrate what fiddle can do for simple backup in a string band. We're gonna demonstrate these techniques over the last tune we learned, which is Train 45. So remember, with Train 45, it's in the key of A major, and that's going to be important because if you're playing strange tones, with your backup, then it's going to sound funny. So, if I'm playing Train 45 and I'm doing this, it's going to be a little out of place, right? So I want to make sure I'm not doing that. So a good place to start if I'm in the key of A major is to find your A note, okay? Which is the first finger on the G. Another thing I like to do with backup techniques on the fiddle is I like to aim for the low notes. Because I could find my A that's high, right? This one, the open A. But that's high frequencies that might overpower some of the rest of the band. So what I want to do then is find my lower notes. Another good tone to go along with that note that's easy to find is the fifth note, which is the E. Okay, so if I'm in the key of A major, remember the whole theory about the 1 and the 5 chord, or the 1 and the 5th notes. All right. So if I'm thinking in that terms, then it's good to pair the A note with the E. Alright, so once I've got that, then I can think about what I can do in terms of rhythm. Alright, so something that you can do as a fiddle player would be what you call like chopping. So chopping in the background while somebody else plays the melody or plays a solo. So if I was playing Train 45, I'll whistle it to myself while I back myself up. Here we go. So I was following a consistent beat there, and something you can do with this technique that I find easier to keep consistent is constantly keep your right hand here moving in kind of a circle motion, because every time it comes around it just makes contact with the string, and then you can keep your hand movement the same pace. Yeah, it keeps a real consistent beat. A couple other things you can do as a fiddle player with simple backup in a string band is instead of chopping, you can keep your bow on the strings and just bow out a simple rhythm while keeping on these two tones, the A and the E. Okay, so that would be like this if I just went back and forth. Okay. One other thing that you can do that's, I guess, we're talking about simple backup. This would be maybe a little bit more fancy, though, would be like a shuffle bowing. And all I'm doing with that is like that. So it's just back and forth. Alright. So those are some techniques you can use if you're, playing in a tune in a band and you're a fiddle player and you don't know what to do if you're not playing the melody, right? So those are things that you can do that will help you seem a little bit more in place there. So now let's move on to mandolin and what we can do for simple techniques on mandolin. Usually with mandolin, should have tuned before this video. Luckily it wasn't too bad. Okay, so what I do with mandolin I kind of tend to do where I hit my low strings first and then hit them all on the second beat. So I have one low strings on the one, all strings on the two. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, that's a nice one that you can do. That's pretty simple. If you want to do even simpler, you can just play all the strings like this. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, I'm playing that all on my A chord, just like the fiddle. So to get the A chord, I have my first finger on the G, first finger on the D, and then I have my open A and open E. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, and then one other thing you could do is more simple to the guitar, or more similar to the guitar, I should say. Where I pick one note first on the first beat, and I use that sort of as a bass note, and then I strum all the strings on the next beat. So that would be counted like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? All those things work pretty well. So now I'll whistle the tune and try each one. Alright, so we'll do the first thing we went over, which was you just strum, but on the first beat you keep your focus with your right hand on the low strings. Like that. Okay, so I'm going to whistle the Train 45 tune. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next thing I'll try is the only the strum over the whole strings, and less beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Then the last one with the bass note, single note, and then strum. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, and that's it for those techniques. Now I'm going to move to guitar. That'll wrap it up. Okay. Got too many instruments here. I'm surrounded by instruments. Okay, so the main thing for simple backup with guitar, I would say, is a bass note followed by a strum. Alright, so if I was playing Train 45, I'd find my A chord. Alright. And then to keep it simple, you want to start with a bass note. So in this case, I'd use my open A string. And then a good technique you can do to vary it a little bit is switch your bass notes. Okay, so going back and forth from the A to the E is a nice option here on guitar. It'll make you sound like a bass player. Okay. So I'm going to whistle Train 45 while playing that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I think that'll do it. Keep your backup simple, and any string band you play in will sound pretty good when it comes to sticking together. Alright, see you next time.